So here this is Lord Potato, and this is What If Asta Was the Reincarnation of Garou, Part 3. So I'm just watching more Black Clover, don't worry about it. I'm very far ahead from my what ifs that I need to keep in track because yeah, you know what, never mind. I should shut up. But not the point. So let me go into this what if and shut up. But before I do that, go subscribe to Anime Sensei Iconic What Ifs and Obito What Ifs. Link will be in the description. Even though Anime Sensei and Obito hasn't uploaded for a while, for like 3 months at least. Iconic's still uploading, but just kind of not that often. But yeah. But not the point. My second channel is also there. I barely upload also there because, well, you see here. I'm trying to remember all these kind of things that happen to me because I mostly upload story times or even game stuff on there because, you know, I'm bored. I just don't feel like uploading something on my main channel, so this is my main channel. Second channel is just whatever, but whatever. Other than that, let me shut up and go into the what if. So we go into Garou. Garou, after punching the shit out of Clarks, that kind of guy with glasses, because you see here, Garou just had enough of Clark's fucking attitude, so he just punched the shit out of him. Now, well, Garou, who is Asta right now, is punching through walls right now, trying to find Luck. This is where Luck is right now in battle, and of course, he is still losing, but this is where, well, Luck was about to lose until, well, something happens. Before he was killed by the clouds and all that, or whatever, the smoke, also did appear cutting it down, but also did punching the fuck out of this guy in the face, knocking his ass out. This is where, well, he does kind of like smash into a wall and get up and say, ugh, who the hell are you? Also appears again. This is where he says, screw you. Punch. He just punches this man. He doesn't even do a technique. He just punches the shit out of this guy. This is where this guy flies across like more walls, and of course, this is where Luck says, I don't need your help. I can do this by myself. Also says, okay. That's where, well, Luck was about to like walk past Asta and says, I can do this. I can do this. That's where, well, Luck rushes out, well, before he even gets to rush, Asta grabs him from the hand and smashes him down to the ground saying, idiot, we're here to help you. We're a team. Me, Noel, are here to help you. Now listen up, you fuck. You're not alone in this world, idiot. That's where, well, Luck kind of got a brief kind of like memories and all that. And of course he did nodded. I guess so. I guess I'll be happy to be helped by you, Garou. This is where, well, the person laughs and says, oh, isn't this kind of sweet? Whatever. He says, domain of the, well, dark smoke domain. Falling King. This is where Asta says, interesting. We're in a domain. Very interesting. He can't see us and we can't see him. Unless, this is where Luck says, huh? Where is he at? He's over there. Good. Garou launches off and already putting anti-chakra into, well, not chakra, anti-magic into his fist and punches this motherfucker out into the fucking wall, knocking his ass out. That's where, well, the guy tries to get back up, but he's trying to. This is where Asta pulls out a sword, puts anti-magic into it, and, well, does like grab it from the, what's it called, book, because he did put a bunch of weapons in there, just to get anti-magic, stab this man, and of course starts putting anti-magic into this guy just to destroy all his, like, mana. This is where Asta says, okay, we can just leave him here. Besides, his grimoire is already destroyed. Meh, who gives a shit? Guess what? No magic. Fucking suck it, you loser. Asta kicks him in the fucking head because Asta doesn't give a shit. He can be ruthless as fuck half the time. This is where, well, Luck says, ruthless. But I want to fight you when we get back. This is where Garou says, you're going to have a very fun time then, Luck. This is where Noel says, idiots, can you shut up? We gotta get to the vault before, well, the Golden Dawn does. This is where after, well, also leaving, yes, what's it called? Clark does wake up and does ask Mimosa where to be at, and this is where they get there. This is where, well, Mercury is still there attacking them. This is where, well, Realize that he doesn't have enough power to defeat the giant sword that's actually going towards him. This is where Asta appears. This is where Asta smacks, he doesn't even use his sword. He punches the shit out of the sword, smashing it into a bunch of bits. Then Asta launches off some of those bits straight towards Mercury, kicking him right in the head, smashing him out of, not even the armor. He doesn't have armor yet. No, that was coming before, but yeah. He kicks him in the side of the head, smashing him into the wall. Asta says, well, I didn't think you would be that kind of pathetic, letting some guy be able to defeat you, even though you have the 4-leaf grimoire. And so goes, Asta? What? Aren't you using your grimoire? Bitch, why the hell would I need this? The only thing I need is hands in this world. This is where Clark says, barbarian. Hey, shut the fuck up, Four Eyes, before I come over there and beat your ass again, like the last time I did. Clark says, you never beat my ass. This is where Mimosa, Noelle, and even, even though Mimosa is still kind of hurt from Mercury, she says, oh great, this could happen worse again. This is where says, wait, Elsa, don't attack him like last time. This is where Clark says, what the hell are you talking about? I just fainted from having low mana. This is where, Asta says, yeah, that's what it is. This is where Asta's going closer to him. This is where says, okay, Asta, the guy's getting back up. This is where Mercury says, the weak shot. This is where Asta appears, smashing a knee straight toward this guy's, ribs. This is where this guy coughed up blood. This is where Asta grabs him from the neck and then throws him straight towards mostly to the wall, smashing him there. This is where he says, I'm not giving up. Crystal release. Crystal domain. This is where he makes a domain around Asta and says, you stay there. Asta says, I guess I'm going to have to break through this, don't I? This is where, Mercury is going to say, you on the other hand, I'll kill all you weaklings. This is where before he can even get out, this is where, something happens. His crystal domain does break after hearing something. Fist of the abyss emptiness. This is where Asta also adds anti-chakra into it. Oh, not that. Anti-chakra, anti-magic. I keep thinking chakra, but yeah. This is where, he breaks through it and sees Mercury. This is where he grabs Mercury from the head and smashes his head to the ground, knocking his ass cold. This is where, Luck still breaks through, one thing that was trying to kill Clark, but yeah. This is where Asta says, we're done here. Now, onto the door. This is where Clark says, how do we open it? This is where Asta says, Luck says, it's made out of magic, so you can easily cut it. This is where Asta instead punches that shit, making a hole, a perfect hole for him just to walk in through it. This is where Asta says, this is where, says, okay, he does not give a shit about using his goddamn grimoire half the damn time. God damn it. This is where Asta, he's looking around. Of course, this is where he sees so much gold. This is where he starts taking so much of it. Starts trying to stuff his pockets. This is where Asta saying, I have pockets. This is where he pulls out pouches, starts stuffing it in, and this is where Asta is going to make the church so rich. So rich that it's going to be like a noble place, but only for those who live in there, who live in the village. That's where Asta's like, That's where Nero still kind of asks Asta by trying to peck him and kind of pulling him towards that place. Well, mostly that mirror or whatever it is. That's where Asta says, what is it? This is something behind there? That's where Nero, who was just looking at Asta, hoping to see if Asta would break this wall. Asta ignores Nero and decides to go back and just getting more gold. You see here, Asta cares more about family than caring about what Nero even wants to think about. You see here, Garou, he just doesn't care much. But yeah. So Mercury managed to get out of the bindings and of course has fire magic and even his crystal diamond release or whatever. And starts fighting against everyone. Of course, he managed to kind of use some of his crystal release to kind of capture Clark's, and even Luck. This is where he managed to punch Noelle out of the way. And this is where when Garou sees Noelle hurt, Asta says, I guess I'll have to attack him with the sword. fuck it. He starts rushing at, well, not Clark's, mostly Mercury with what's called the sword. Starts slashing at half the things. Of course, this is where he sends faster things, but Asta managed to cut through them because Asta, even with one hand, he's still faster. He can carry this huge hunk of metal so easily and swing it around. This is where, well, Asta sees some of the things are going faster. This is where Asta starts grabbing them and starts throwing them back at, well, Mercury. Mercury realized that he's almost getting cut with his own shit. This is where, well, he realized, this guy's annoying. Die, you bastard! Decides to punch Asta. That's where Asta decides to put the book away and decides to kind of use his one flowing technique. Fist of crush. Oops, I messed that up. Fist of flowing water, crush rock fist. Oh yeah, cross. Yeah, that. This is where, well, Asta makes it goes up because he blocks it by kind of pushing it away, and then Asta kicks the hand by breaking off the diamond arm. This is where, well, Asta says, you know, that's pathetic. This is when Mercury gets angry and sends more creations attacks at, well, Asta. Asta starts dodging them pretty easily because Asta can react super easily from them. This is where his eyes are really fast in actually seeing where the attacks are coming from, but yeah. Then can easily react because his body is basically a walking, talking Sharingan. But yeah. This is where this is where let me say it again. This is where, well, Asta kind of dodges some things, but of course didn't see, well, Mercury managed to punch Asta in the back, smashing him to the wall, and Asta sees the sword. This is where Nero was there, kind of pointing at the sword. Asta says, oh my gosh, fine. I'll use the stupid sword. Asta pulls out the other demon slayer sword and has them both at his hand. He rushes at Mercury. This is where Asta, with blinding speed, cuts already Mercury's like armor. This is where he managed to kind of regain it by his healing because of his flames. This is where Asta says, this is quite fucking annoying. This is where he gets punched, and this is where he gets close to Noel. Noel says, what are you doing, you peasant? This is where Asta says, oh my god. Is this the time for you to kind of annoy the fuck out of me? No, because if it's not, shut up. That's what Asta says. Screw the two swords. These two swords are annoying me. This is where, well, Asta is not much of a swordsman because of Garou. That's where Asta, he calms down. He just decides to calm down slowly. That's where Asta is getting angry. This is where, well, Mercury starts rushing at Asta, but this is where Asta, he says, fists of warping wind slashing steel. This is where he cuts through, well, the what's it called, the crystal release, and this is where Asta then rushes at, well, Mercury with blinding speed, punching him hard enough to the face multiple times, making sure that healing magic fucking wears off, even if he had to break Mercury's face into a million fucking pieces. This is where Asta sees that Mercury's face is kind of slowly regenerating, slower and slower and slower. Mercury realizes that he isn't keeping up with Asta's speed. Asta then knees him right to the ground, like smashing him down. This is where the crystals kind of just breaks off of Luck, Klaus, and even, well, what's it called, Yuno. And Yuno couldn't even use the, well, Spirit of the Wind. Because, well, Asta fucking broke Mercury down to a million pieces. Of course, Mercury isn't dead, he just knocked the fuck out. Asta goes back to just taking shit. This is where, well, Asta says, this is interesting, this is more interesting. Take. This is where Klaus says, you barbarian fool. What the hell was that? Asta says, wait, shut up. Do you want me to beat the shit out of you again? This is where, well, you know, almost even Noel knows that Asta really doesn't like Noels at all. And if Asta had the chance, he will punch the shit out of all Noels. Well, nobles. This is where, well, Clark says, whatever. I'm just glad you're okay. Even if you're a barbarian fool. Asta says, oh, are you calling me names now, Four Eyes? Maybe a four-eyed freak like you should understand that fighting with fists is way better and more manlier. I guess you can say that like that. That's where Klaus says, no, that's just barbarian. Well, guess what? When you don't have any fucking magic, what do? You fucking fight with your fist. Now shut the fuck up, you four eyes. Before I come over there and fucking drop kick you like a little bitch. That's why, well, Clark says, undespicable, you fucking barbarian. That's why, well, Asta says, well, I don't give a shit now. Shut up. What do you think I'm doing right now? He's taking more gold, putting it in the bag. That's where, saying, what are you doing, Asta? Asta says, shut up, Maybe you should get over there or something. Shoot. This is where, says, I know you're getting more gold for the church. But do you think stealing gold that we already managed to capture from wherever the diamond paws is necessary? They were given towards the church. And do you think I care? The nobles are going to be so greedy, they're going to be, wow, so much gold for them. Guess what? I'm going to break all of them. They piss me off enough. That's why, well, says, come on, Asta. You can't just be this greedy. I'm not being greedy if this is for a good cause. This is where, well, Size, and this is where he uses some of his wind magic, but before even using one of his wind magic, he had to dodge a fist. This fist almost hits him right in the face. I swear, why in his eyes? That speed of punch. He could not react fast enough. And this is where an aura, a demonic, strong, monstrous aura, just appears around Asta. Asta says, you dare use your wind magic against me again? And I'll make sure your fucking arms will never work again. And so, well, kind of get scared and say, Asta, come on, we're just brothers, right? Fucking let me do what I'm doing. And so, well, Asta just gets more angrier and angrier when people kind of piss him off enough. But yeah. So, of course, well, we go into a time skip. Of course, yes, this time the Clover Kingdom does take the, well, actual dungeon because it doesn't break. Because I don't really know what really happened. I think what really happened was the fact that since there was so much commotion and damage and attacks around the whole freaking dungeon, like original canon, it broke, or someone set off a trap. But I can't actually remember. But of course, since the whole damage was minimal, of course is where the kingdom managed to grab all the special things. But yeah, also managed to grab that sword and puts it into his book. This is where Asta could not even use Enma. He would have used Enma, the new sword that he got. But instead he didn't use it. He didn't want to use it for a second. Instead, he wanted to use his own hands. Just to see if he will be powerful enough to just beat the shit out of a, magic user grimoire using Bastard with his own hands. He realized he can easily do it, but yeah. So well, the next day happened. And of course, this is where Yami was very impressed seeing that Asta managed to beat the shit out of, some people by only using his fists. Like a true god. This is where Yami was laughing after that, but yeah. Of course, Magna never really thought Asta was just going to beat the fuck out of people, but yeah. This is where, Mercury in this, time, he did get captured by, what's it called? The Clover Kingdom. Of course, this is where Asta didn't really care that much, but decides to request Mercury not to be locked up, instead to be in the Black Bulls. Of course, some of the people wanted to deny his shit, but the Wizard King allowed it. And so where, Mercury in this one is actually being changed by a kind of heart from, Asta, even though Asta doesn't have a heart most of the time. That's where, Yami laughs, but of course, is where, it is going to be more work for him to keep an eye on Mercury. But of course, it's where, Mercury isn't doing much of anything. He's kind of broken and realized that he kind of needs help. Asta is not the type to help him, but Asta tries his best to kind of help him break out of that shell about the fact that he lost his friend by accidentally killing her, blah blah blah. Asta says, yo, I can fucking help you if you just fucking shut up about your emotional damage, and if you keep using your crystal style to try to kill me, I'm going to punch the shit out of you so hard that you're gonna be in a coma for fucking 3 years. Mercury shuts up after that, but yeah. Because Mercury isn't really trying to fight Asta again because you can see Asta is really deadly. Well, let me say it again. Really, really dangerous with his hands. Nothing but his bare fucking hands and legs and his whole body in general. But yeah. So where, well, the next day happens, of course, this is where Asta is talked by, well, Yami to kind of go with Noel towards the capital, but yeah. Of course, this is where they meet Mimosa, and even Clark. Mimosa still kind of has a little faint crush on, well, Asta, because Asta did have his clothes ripped when he was fighting against Mercury. So yeah. So well, Noel and Mimosa were kind of screaming out there, but yeah. That's where Asta sees and even Clark. Two people that he doesn't really want to see most of the damn time. Reason why was is because made him kind of falsely have to be a Black Clover, well, knight and have this whole fake wizard dream because, well, wants to have one. And he wanted to force the idea upon Asta, even though Asta wants his own idea into breaking, well, his idea was mostly to kind of destroy all nobles. Standing with the Wizard King and other things. He doesn't want any of that shit. He wants everyone to be equal, Asta thinks. Because Asta, even though he kind of has that little same dream, like original canon Garou. If you read the latest manga, the newest manga about, well, Garou's personality and how it changed after fighting Saitama, you'll understand that Garou in this What If is a little bit different than if you haven't read it. This is where, well, Garou did have a kind heart of change, but yeah. But don't worry about it, I'll explain later more. This is where, well, Asta is right now just talking, well, not to the Wizard King, just telling him about what happens. This is where the Wizard King sees, well, Yuno's book, and he's very impressed. That's where Asta thinks, fucking pedophile. Because Asta, he has met the Wizard King twice. This is where, well, he didn't really want to meet the Wizard King on purpose. It was just an accident, and he always thinks he's a fucking pedophile. This is where, well, after, the Wizard King kind of examining the book of, well, he then asked for Asta's, and Asta says, no, fuck that, hell no. And so where, well, Clark says, you cannot deny what's called the Wizard King's, asked. This is where, well, Noel and Mimosa really thought that, well, Asta would kind of give the book. This is where Asta says, if you want the book, then fucking have it. Fuck this shit, I'm up. This is where before he even says what he wanted to say, managed to put wind in his mouth, trying to tell him to calm down because Asta really wants to just quit. Asta doesn't really want to deal with anyone's bullshit. Asta is not the type to kind of follow people's rules. And that is what Garou does. He hates following people's rules. He basically hated the rules in his world of justice and villains and all that. That's where justice and monsters and whatever, and justice or whatever. He hated that system. In this world, he hates it more because of the fact of the nobles and other things. But yeah. So of course, this is where, well, Asta is right now having wind in his mouth, and this is where Asta is kind of ripping it off and saying, what I wanted to say is, this is where, managed to cover up. Says, ignore him most of the time. This is where, well, the Wizard King is kind of looking through, can't really read it, and says, how do you pull out any of your weapons or anything? Asta says, you pull them out. You just say the name and pull them out. What are they called? Don't fucking know. Didn't really give a shit. They just come at an instant. Well, before I give you that book and tell you that I want to fucking give up in this shit, and how about this, I will, before he even says any more things, Asta keeps getting put wind in his mouth, and he's getting quiet and know what So what, well, Asta says, if you don't fucking stop putting wind in my mouth, it's a good chance I will cut you into a million fucking pieces. That's where says you wouldn't. That's where Asta says Enma. Enma appears from the book. not being rusted but still being perfectly clean, Asta grabs the sword, pulls it out, and a like purplish aura appears. That's where Asta like swings the blade straight to Yuno, and it cuts the tower in half. That's where Yuno goes, Asta, what the hell is wrong with you? Like I said, asshole, stop pissing me off. That's where, well, sighs because he knows that Asta can get very angry half the damn time. This is where, well, Julius wanted to grab the sword, but before even grabbing the sword, Asta says, "What are you doing?" Asta grabs him from the hand and starts kind of breaking it from Asta's strength in general. This is where Julius didn't expect Asta to have that much strength. And that's where Asta seems to get angrier and angrier and angrier, with getting more strength. This is where Julius says, I'm sorry about that. Well, how about you guys go with us to a festival? Just for you five to kind of be able to, well, bring a dungeon. Intact. How about it? That's where, well, all of them say sure. And this is where Asta says, fuck that. This is where Asta starts walking away, but starts kind of using his wind magic, just kind of stop Asta. And so where, well, Asta looks back at Yuno and says, Yuno, do you really want to die now? And so where Yuno says, no. Asta, just calm down. Fine, I'll calm down. I'll calm down for sure. Asta has this creepy smile. And so where, well, they get to, well, the gallery or whatever the hell it's called. And of course, where, well, it's quiet as fuck. There's so many nobles looking at Yuno, Mimosa, what's it called? No, what am I saying? At Noel and even Clarkson and even Garou. This is where some of them don't care, but this is where, well, Noel gets bullied by her siblings, like her older sister, brother, and even oldest brother. What was this goddamn name? I don't remember. I never really cared, but yeah. This is where, well, he says, for a pathetic weakling like you shouldn't be here. Noel starts going and she starts crying. Asta sees this and grabs her from the hand and saying, where are you going? So Noel says, I'm just going outside for a second. That's where if she doesn't lie, Asta's going to murder the nobles. That's where, well, Asta says, you don't need to lie to me. I heard everything. And for that, since I heard everything, I'm gonna murder them. That's where Noel says, wait, Asta. Asta appears right in front of, well, what's called both of, well, Noel's kind of like brothers. Basically, the sort of twins. The two that are mostly assholes, except for what's called, the guy with the mercury. He didn't appear, but this is where Asta punches the shit out of them, knocking them out. This is where Asta gets attacked by the others. Asta kicks one in the face, knocking his ass out. This is where some of them start fighting against Asta, but Asta starts whooping the shit out of all of them. This is where Asta saying pathetic. I am someone with no magic, and this is where before Asta gets covered by sand. This is where Asta breaks through, punches this man straight to the ground. This is where Asta says, sit your ass down before I break your fucking head off. This is where half of them are trying to fight against Asta, but Asta's showing this murderous intent. He will kill all of them if they keep pissing him off. This is where Yuno was afraid of this. Noel was even more afraid of this, because Asta seems to be not the most great stable person. And of course Asta, he kind of gets like this, well, mostly this magic knight kind of comes out of nowhere, saying that the capital is under attack. Asta said, damn, I was about to murder them. But I guess I get to let go of my steam on some idiots who dare to attack this place. I just can't wait to fucking give up on this whole magic knight bullshit. Because when I do, I'm going to rip through them like a fucking waste of fucking trash. This is where Asta's walking away. This is where Asta's walking away calmly, but half of the magic knights are all knocked the fuck out. This is where, well, Vermilion, basically from the Red Crimson Lion, was about to step in, but he didn't expect Asta to be able to dodge half of this shit in blinding speed. That's where Asta starts walking away, and Asta's right now talking to himself, and what he heard from Asta is Asta really wants to give up on this shit, because Asta seems not to give a shit that much. That's where Yuno, who is right now kind of following Asta, Asta gets outside and starts running to see where, the attacks are happening. Also meets up with that one dude who can kind of use zombie cords and all that. Also rushes at the person saying, "You're my first victim." This is where the guy says, "Wait, what do you mean? You mean you're my first?" Before he even says anything, he gets his fucking shit wrecked. Right now, smashed to the ground, starts getting his face pummeled in like a fucking, well, like a boxing, well, just a punching bag in general. This is where his face is all bloody up. The guy was kind of like that one, what's it called, like, eye thing or whatever. He's from like the Midnight Eye and all that. Well, he only has one, like, what's it called, one page in his grimoire or whatever. He gets his shit rocked so hard that he's trying to use his like puppets to kind of fight against Asta. But no, every time he kind of uses it and manages to get away from Asta, Asta just keeps grabbing him from the head and smashing it. And so where, well, this guy is named Riley or whatever. Has got, I think it was Riley or something. Of course, he can't get away from Asta because Asta's really not letting go of his fucking head. Asta just keep pummeling in it. This is where Asta gets teleported away because of the teleportation guy. This is where Asta rushes back in jogging speed. Asta already knew who the hell that guy was at and find him, and Asta says, "You're my new victim." Asta grabs him from the face and starts smashing it to the ground. Asta shows no mercy. "You're dead. If I can't find nobles to kill, then you will be the perfect fucking victims." Asta starts murdering, start punching the shit of them. This is where half of like the creation puppets or whatever can't really attack the civilians and all. And of course, they're not really getting attacked. This is where Verliman Red is trying to look for where Asta went and finds where Asta's at. Asta is right now beating the shit out of them, saying, "Die, die." Asta's really not giving a shit no more. Asta has truly not lost his mind yet. He just keeps getting annoyed and more annoyed since the fact that he can't really kill half the nobles. If he could, he would have murdered all nobles entirely. This is where Noelle, when she gets to see Asta, she just sees Asta just beating the shit out of the enemy. Like, the enemy can't even fight back. They're scared of Asta. They're trying to run away. The teleport guy tries to even run away from Asta, but Asta is just jogging after him saying, "Come here, you can't escape. Get over here, you little fucking bastard." This is where, well, he realizing that he picked the wrong fucking day to, well, attack. This is where, well, Asta gets almost attacked by like a cursed magic spell. And this is where it's the witch and saying, "Ah, I guess I'll be fighting against you. I wonder why there's two are running away from you." That's where Asta says, "Third victim, I say? Do I hear third victim? Victim?" This is where, well, the lady says, "What are you?" This is where Asta smashes from the ground all the way up. Like he launches himself up, grabbing her from the face, throwing her to the ground. This is where she smashes, makes a crater. This is where she didn't expect that. Asta, who jumps off the broom in high speed, smashing a knee straight towards her, well, what's it called, ribs, cracking so many of them. That's where Asta, "Sit your ass down, bitch." This is where Asta gets towards the next two victims that were the first victims. This is where, well, Asta's looking for them. This is where, well, they still managed to get, well, Vergolion Red or whatever his name is. Vergolion? Yeah, Vergolion. That's his name. This is where, well, I think that's his name. I don't actually remember. This is where, well, he still gets captured, and of course, he gets one of his arms cut off like a little cannon. Of course, this is where, well, his brother is kind of crying out loud. But this is where the Aurelius just tries to attack, well, Leon. But of course, Asta appears, smashing his leg down on top of the sky. This is where he smashes his head down to the ground. Asta's laughing in this insane tone. Not really. Asta just had enough of this fucking shit. This is where, well, Yuno hasn't even found any of the enemies. Asta has just been killing them. Half of them. Half of them are still kind of alive. This is where, well, television guy says, "I'm gonna have to need help." This is where he teleports some of the, what's called, Midnight Moon to kind of appear. And of course, this is where they came for backup. And this is where, well, they're here. Even Sally's here. She's saying, "Ah, who am I going to here to experiment? She sees Fergolion. She says, I don't really care about what's it called, the Magic Knight captain. She doesn't seem interesting because no one else there. Leon doesn't seem interesting. And she sees a boy with no grimoire. Well, he does have a grimoire just flying around. That's where she says, who's he? That's where, well, the guy whose fucking face is all shattered into a million pieces. He says, that kid is dangerous. Don't let him get near you. That's where the other says, so we get rid of them, right? That's where he says, yeah, of course. We gotta get rid of that captain anyway. And the leader won't be, well, what's it called? Happy if we don't get rid of him. Asta appears, grabbing one of the, well, what's it called? One of the what's called less known soldiers on there. From basically he had a robe in on there. It's just unknown. Like just say it's just a fucking. And no one really cares. Asta grabs him from the neck with two arms, saying, "You look interesting to die." Asta just puts a little bit more pressure that his head pops off. Like it's nothing. This is where Sally goes, huh? What the? His speed. Wait, I didn't react to it. The other guy who has kind of like a scar on his face goes, what the? This is where the guy who's teleporting says, holy shit, his power. It isn't normal. Asta's face, instead of showing what's it called, like his face and all that, it shows to be black, but it shows to be his yellow eyes to kind of start glowing to a yellowish color. Asta smiling. This is where Asta says, oh, you want to know my name? My name is Garou, the hero hunter. I don't give a shit if you're a hero or a villain. I'll kill you all. Just to prove I'm stronger than half of you weaklings. This is where another one tries to attack Asta with his own magic, saying, fire sound, fireball. This is where Asta dodges the fireball. Instead, just grabs it, crushes it in his hand, and rushes towards the sky, saying, you're very interesting. You're sending a fire attack at me. You're going to have to try a lot harder than that. Asta grabs him from the mouth and grabs him from the head and starts ripping it off. This is where Noelle starts puking because she didn't expect Asta to be that brutal. Sally, on the other hand, was like surprised. Someone in this Magic Knight's ranks was such a brutal person. That's where she gets interesting. This person's fast, strong. I want to experiment on him all the time. Asta appears right in front of Sally about to kill her, but this is where she manages to dodge and say Salamander. This is where Salamander attacks Asta, but Asta, what he says. Asta says, fist of exploding heart liberation. He punches the salamander and explodes. This is where Sally, wiping her eyes, didn't expect Asta to be that powerful. Asta is walking towards him, calmly, but still having this dangerous aura around him. That's where Asta's smiling. That's where Asta, he's getting closer to them. That's where Sally gets terrified of this aura. That's where Asta's saying, where are you guys going? This is where the guy's getting ready to teleport. But this is where Asta grabs him from the neck and saying, oh, no, no, no. I don't like you teleporting anyone. I should break those arms of yours, making sure you don't teleport anyone ever again. That's where he says, what do you... He's screaming in pain because he never thought that Asta would just twist his arms like a fucking twig. That's where Asta says, no, no, no. We can't let you keep running away. No, 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 no. That's bad. This is where the other guy, the guy with the scar, kind of says, damn it. I forgot what he even uses. I really forgot his magic. He kind of uses his magic to attack Asta. Asta grabs him from the neck and says, ooh, you might have lots of information. I shouldn't kill you, but I should make sure that you never walk again. Asta breaks both of his fucking kneecaps in an instant. This guy falls down, just twitching in pain. He never thought this much pain would be on there. I swear Sally's the last one left. Asta's smiling for her. Oh, you're adorable, yes? And kind of sadistic. Maybe you'd be good for, well, a little bit of photography practice. You see here, I'm still not letting go some steam. And since you kind of hurt one of the captains, I would say thank you. But then again, that seems wrong of me to say, right? Is it wrong of me to say it? Asta sits down next to Sally. This is where Sally was confused. Asta then kind of explains a little bit of, is it wrong for me to say thank you for hurting one of the noble pricks? Or, I fucking hate you for hurting one of the noble pricks. I really don't know about the emotions half the time. Sally just sits through, well, a talk from Asta, and Asta says, so what do you think? That's where Sally says, I don't really know much about human emotions, so I can't really help you there. Really? That's where Sally says, yeah, I'm only an experimenter. I just wanted to know what makes you tick and blah blah blah. Well, you can guess from I'm magicless, meaning I have no magic, so how would that help you anything in experiment? Sally says, I guess you're right. Wait, you have no magic, then how can you do all of this? Asta smiles at her with this creepy smile that Sally even gets terrified of the smile. That's where, well, she gulps and says, oh, you don't want to know what I am truly. I'm not truly human. Asta's face is kind of going dark shade and having a bright, well, his eyes are turning yellow and all that. And of course his, like, teeth, well, his mouth is like purely white and all that. He says, oh, well, about that, I'm not truly human, if you would actually like to conclude that answer. I might look human, I might act human, but I'm not human. Asta kind of said it so quietly to her. That's where she kind of had to shiver up her spine and says, oh, are you for any chance an elf? And so where Asta says, the fuck is an elf? No, I'm not an elf. You want to know what I am? A monster. The king of all monsters. The next person to be the king and the ruler of this world. I am fear, I am despair. So where, well, Asta is just kind of getting like memories and reflexes from, well, Garou's past life much. So where, well, Sally gets more scared a little bit, but this is where she says, well, I might need to leave. Asta says, why? We're not even done yet. You're already leaving? That's rude of you to do. That's where Sally says, well, can you let go of my arm? Asta says, no, not really. I like you way too much to kind of let go of you. This is where Sally goes flustered for a little bit. This is where, well, Noelle was kind of just surprised that Asta would say that out loud towards the enemy. This is where, well, she was about to step in and starts using water slides to kind of hit Asta and even, well, the crazy lady. But this is where, well, Asta kind of dodges something. Teleportation magic. This is where the guy managed to finally use teleportation magic. This is where, well, Sally says, well, I'm gonna have to leave. Bye. This is where, well, Asta says, you know what, I'll come along. This is where Asta just kind of jumps in. This is where, well, Sally says, are you fucking insane? Asta says, kinda. I want to find your leader and beat the shit out of him. So, where is he? This is where the guy realized that Asta is fucking more insane than he thought. Sally even thought of that at the same time. Of course, Noelle didn't expect Asta to just jump in there. And so where, well, Asta is right now just walking along Sally and even, well, the other guy. Asta's just like saying, so where's your leader? I want to beat the shit of him. Where? So where, well, the Wizard King says, I was expecting to? Asta, why are you here? I see. So I guess you will be the villain's leader, well, I guess you will be the secret eye of the midnight. So I guess you're the leader of this organization. I see. But why, Wizard King? Why will you be here? Other than just be the leader of the midnight. This is where the Wizard King says, wait, why are you going to so many conclusions? But who cares? If you are the midnight leader, I guess I just expose you and kind of throw you out of commission, right? That's where Julia says, wait, Asta, no. I am not the leader. I was just waiting here so I can get them and managed to get a couple and capture them. Don't worry about it. I captured a few of them. I might also kill a few of them, but don't worry about it. And so Asta kind of has his hand over Sally and says, besides, she's coming along with us. Besides, she's willing to come along with us. And so the guy tries to use the teleport magic, but this is where Asta breaks it again. Breaks its arm, screaming out in pain. This is where, Julius never expected Asta to be that brutal. Asta says, don't worry, all we captured that guy. That guy's the teleport user to kind of teleport, the others. But don't worry, I captured them. This is where Sally says, you really didn't capture me. Because you would have broken my arms or anything. Asta says, but you're too adorable to break anything. So just think of it as, I'm not trying to really break stuff from you. Asta knows about love and knows that this teasing stuff will kind of help. This is where Sally sits there and just says, okay. Right now, blushing her face off. But this is where, Julia says, okay, so Asta, if I'm not the leader, then who do you think it would be? Probably the guy who's right now using light magic and kind of blinding everyone. This is where, the light dude says, yes, Sally. And he looks at his friend. You bastard. But it's not the time to attack you. Asta says, no, but it's my time to attack you. Asta sends a ferocious punch straight towards this person's face. This is where Asta gets hit by light beams, and of course Asta gets smashed down to the ground. Julius had to kind of protect Asta so Asta wouldn't kind of die. This is where, the guy says, I will now be leaving. Come on, Sally, and come on, the other dude. That's where he disappears, but yeah. Asta says, son of a bitch. Damn. I lost that kind of, I guess, funny girl. She was nice. She didn't attack me. Even once. This is bullshit. When I get to that light freak, I'm going to murder him. That's where Asta gets back up, sees that the wounds are kind of being healed thanks to his own regeneration because he's Garou and all that. Well, not that fast, but of course, just healing. Asta gets back up. That's where Julia says, oh no you don't. You can't get back up, so I'll just put you in a time ball. That's where Asta says, time what? So where, they get towards the capital, and of course is where Julia says, okay. So I managed to bring back Asta, even though Asta tries to capture the enemy and capture the leader. That didn't really work out because he got stabbed. This is where, Asta says, yo. This is where, he's still in the time ball. Of course, this is where Julius was surprised to even see Asta moving through the time ball. This is where Asta says, so am I gonna get out anytime soon or what? Julius is surprised. How are you able to do that? Asta says, don't know, don't care. Asta pokes the bubble and gets out of it and says, that seems better. Time to go to the Black Bulls and goes to sleep. Asta goes and walks away, and this is where, he then says, where would be Finral at? His magic teleportation would be so nice. Whatever, bye. That's where Asta leaves, but yeah. Asta gets to his house, mostly not the house, mostly the Black Wolves hideout, and of course goes to sleep because he doesn't care. Of course, the past couple of weeks happen, and of course where the village is somewhat repairing. I say somewhat because it wasn't much in chaos. Asta, who was promoted to be, still third rank because not many nobles respect him, but was kind of promoted to be first. Asta says, I'm not respected. Well, a lot of bullshit this. Asta's ready to crack someone's neck. As a where both Magna and even Lux says, so what is third to junior rank or whatever he said? You idiots really don't understand. Yami starts explaining. Asta is right now just kind of like holding on to something, like a beer bottle or another, because he does drink a little bit. Asta is holding onto it tighter and tighter until it just gets crushed under his hand, and of course the glass does pop. The bottle hole just cracks, it just smashes. That's what Asta saying. Those bastards really didn't even Put me higher than you know? Just because he had the 40 firmware and I used my hands. Those bastards are really annoying me. Just because someone killed him. I'm going to murder all of them. That's where Asta is getting angrier and angrier. And that's where Luck and even, Magna doesn't want to be anywhere near, Asta's aura. Because he's sending a very, very dangerous aura. Piss off Asta the fuck right now. And there's a good chance you're going to see hell or heaven in whichever you believe. But yeah. That's where, Luck and Magna kind of stayed away. Even Vanessa and Noel even felt this aura. This is where Gon, or whatever his goddamn name is, kind of felt this. And kind of just got the urge to kind of walk away. But yeah, but still look at Melissa, his kind of sister. Because he's a weird-ass freak half the damn time. And of course is where, Yami felt this and says, gets very pissed. Asta smashes his hand onto the table and it shatters. It's where Asta, I'm gonna fucking murder the kingdom. I don't give a fuck about this whole bullshit now. That's where, Asta gets back up and that's where Yami says, calm down, kid. You're hurt. And I know you're hurt mentally and physically. No, I'm fully healed about a while ago. I slept for a while. I'm healed for that. But I'm going to fucking kill them for the fact that I captured those fucking idiots. But no, fucking give it to the other guy who's fucking able to have a 4-leaf grimoire and has very powerful magic. Close to a fucking noble. But you know what? This fucking whole system's so damn annoying. I should definitely break their fucking heads about it. That's where, Asta's getting more angry and angrier, and this dangerous, very ferocious aura is apparent around him. That's where Nero doesn't even sit on Asta, seeing how dangerous Asta's aura is. She thinks that even in her human form, she probably won't be able to seal it off, because yes, she has magic to seal things off. Asta, on the other hand, is not made out of magic or anything. Asta's aura is just so dangerous, so potent, and very, very ferocious. It should not be anywhere near Asta. That's where, Finra pops out of nowhere and says, Asta! You know what will help you calm down with that aura? Well, a mixer. That's where Asta looks at Finra and says, do I look like a fucking moron to you? I know what a mixer is. A mixer is when you mix food and other things. Which I'm not here to kind of mix food. I'm here to break fucking heads. That's where Finra says, no. Mixers to have fun and chill. Since we do have the day off, right, Yami? Yami says, yeah, we do. So how about it? So where, Asta says, fine. But if it's anything so stupid, I'm going to kill Magna. Magna says, wait, why me? Because a lot of things. Sorry about that. But let me go back into what. Of course, this is where, Finro kind of sees his, not Finro. Magna already sees his life going by, but yeah. So where, Asta says, whatever. That's where Luck still also goes to the mixer. And of course, where when they get to the mixer or whatever, Asta is right now not been glaring at the person in front of him. And that's, Rebecca. That's where, Rebecca's looking somewhere else. Asta is very annoyed about this. He thought the mixer would be something fun and to kind of get his mind off of the goddamn nobles before he actually kills him. This is where, Luck is right now just kind of saying some gruesome stuff and all that. That's where Finra is trying to get them, caught up with his, Magic Night experience. Asta's over here just quiet. That's where, Finra says, hey, Asta, call me that name one more fucking time. I'll break your fucking arms. The name is Garou. No, shut up. That's where, Finra says, okay, Garou, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? Come on, tell the ladies about yourself. Fine. I don't like nobles. Done. The end, I don't care. This is where Finra goes, this is gonna fuck up everything. This is where, it did fuck up everything. Of course, later on, Finra just gets dumped and even Luck. But this is where, Asta, who's still on the table, waiting for his food because he's hungry as hell. And doesn't give a shit about what this whole date was again. At least fucking funeral did pay for something good. He was also gonna get drunk, but you know what? Because he just doesn't want to deal with anything right now. He hates the fact that, well, he promoted third fucking rank, even though he did the most shit, and even fucked up the most fucking magic knights. And would've fucked up the leader if the leader wasn't a fucking life user. This is where, well, a guy who's big kind of says, oh, you're that lady from that store, the restaurant with a bunch of kids. What, did your man leave you? Blah, blah, blah. He's getting close to her and saying, maybe I should. This is where Asta grabs this guy from the hand and says, you know, it's very rude of you to kind of attack a lady. Even though I was here waiting for my food and never come to my fucking table, I guess you would be my new victim. This is where he says, what do you mean? He gets thrown towards the table and smashed onto the table, then bounces towards the wall, smashing down. This is where the person says, hey. This is where Rebecca does grab Asta's hand and does kind of kid him towards the alleyway. This is where she says, thank you, I guess. This is where Asta says, yeah, no problem. So, what's her name? This is where Rebecca says, Rebecca. This is where Asta says, guess you already know my name, Garou. Okay. So, is that so true that you have siblings and all that? This is where, well, she says, yeah. Asta says, I do have siblings of my own. They get quite annoying, but sometimes I miss them. I even miss one of them. This is where he remembers, what's it called, Nosh? And of course, what Nosh kind of reminds him so much is his human self. The only thing that actually calms him is because of how Garou in, what's it called, the manga, he remembers what's it called, that one kid as his kind of human self, but yeah. So he calms down a little bit like that. This is where, well, she then gets kind of excited and realizes that they kind of have something in common. This is where she then asks, do you have anyone in mind that you like? This is where Noelle kind of blushes and is right now just angry from the fact that she's jealous and all that. She's wondering if Asta does have anyone. Asta says, no, not really. I don't really have anyone. Besides, no one would even like me, so I wouldn't even care that much. This is where, well, Rebecca says, oh, okay. Maybe you should come down to the restaurant kind of, you know, eat or anything you need. That's where Asta says, it'd be fine. Maybe next time. That's where Rebecca smiles and says, thank you. This is where, well, she then leaves, but yeah. This is where Noelle's like, This is where Asta, who kind of knows Noelle's over there. This is where Asta is not stupid on that question. Does he have anyone that he likes? This is where Asta thinks of somewhat Sally, but mostly he just likes teasing her. And this is where, well, Noelle's the same. He doesn't really have anyone that he likes much at all. But yeah. So where, well, the next day happens, and of course, is where, well, Asta is going towards, well. So of course, Asta is about to go towards Rebecca's place. But of course, he has no way to get there, and he's not asking Finral for shit because he doesn't really want Finral to kind of be stupid enough. That's why he asks Magna. Of course, he do get paid again. And of course, where, well, Noelle is going to go towards, well, Asta's at. Of course, Asta gets to, well, Rebecca and kind of talk to her and kind of eat somewhere in the restaurant. And yeah, of course, he does meet the other kids. And this is where, well, he does also play with a girl named Marie. Yeah, Marie from Gon's kind of sister and all that. Of course, Gon gets there and sees Marie kind of like talking to Asta and all that. This is where Gon appears, trying to attack Asta, but Asta says, touch me and I'll break your fucking arms. Asta does not really seem like the type to be pushed around like a original cannon. He will break someone's arms if they piss him off enough. This is where Marie sees that Asta doesn't like Gon at all. And not because Gon is trying to attack him. No, that's basically the fucking reason. Asta is not a pushover. He will murder someone if they really piss him off. This is where Asta says, you should probably go with your brother. I'm not trying to annoy your brother or whatever bullshit is happening. This is where Marie says, but why? This is where she starts crying. This is where Gon tries to attack him with a mirror. And this is where Asta grabs the mirror and crushes it. Says, fucking touch me again and I'll break that fucking face of yours. This is where, well, Rebecca never really saw this anger side of, well, Asta. She did kind of remember Asta saying that he does have a very low temper. He can get really angry sometimes, so that's why. He doesn't really talk to much people, but yeah. That's where, well, she never thought that Asta would be fighting against one of her own, well, one of his own, well, what's it called, Black Bulls. Asta walks away from Gon, but Gon says, "Hey, we're not," this is what Asta says. "We're done here talking." Asta has this dangerous aura right now. That's where, well, the aura can be kind of filled by the kids and they get scared. And right now, hide behind Rebecca. That's where Asta says, "Sorry about that, kids." That's where some of them run up to him and say, "That's so cool. What was that?" That's where Asta smiles and says, "That's just something that you don't need to know." That's where Gon, he is terrified of someone Asta. Asta is someone sometimes just a brute, sometimes fighting with his hands. That's why he sees Asta. And it could be a bad influence for Marie. That's what he thinks in his head. But yeah, that's where, well, that is happening. And so, well, I'm going to leave it off here for, well, part 3 of What If Asta Was the Reincarnation of Garou. Yes, for part 4, it'll be probably tomorrow. But other than that, have a nice potato day, potato night, potato, say potato, potato, and good night, potato.